Hello everyone. Let's start discussing the previous year question paper of MSc Entrance Zoology conducted by Punjab University in 2018. So starting with the very first question, the nerve impulse ordered by respiratory centers sends out nerve impulses to, the answer is diaphragm and intercostal muscles. Diaphragm and intercostal muscles. Now, question arises that where the respiratory center located? It located brain, in brain, and especially in the parts pons and medulla oblongata, right? This respiratory center in the brainstem, it send impulses to these muscles to regulate breathing. ये किस चीज को रेगुलेट करता है? ब्रीदिंग को रेगुलेट करते हैं. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, टिश्यू प्लाज्मिन एक्टिवेटर हेल्प in, the answer is dissolves clot in blood vessels. This tissue plasmin activator TPA, it converts plasminogen into plasmin which break down blood clots. So this TPA helps in dissolving clot in blood vessels. Next question, which of the following ensure stable binding of RNA polymerase to the promoter for transcription initiation in bacteria? In bacteria, मतलब बात किसकी हो रही है? हमारी prokaryotes. So in prokaryotes or bacteria, sigma factor is there and it helps RNA polymerase binding to the promoter region to initiate transcription. And now what is transcription? Synthesis of mRNA. Synthesis of mRNA from what? From DNA. Okay. So here's come your DNA segment. And here lies your promoter region. What is this? Promoter region. Now this sigma factor, it helps RNA polymerase to bind at this site. So further transcription can be initiated for the synthesis of mRNA, right? Next question, which family of proteins regulate the intrinsic pathway of apoptosis? The answer is BCL2 family. These proteins regulate apoptosis by controlling what? These control mitochondrial membranes. Membrane permeability. Why? Because these apoptotic factors like caspases and caspases 2, they are located inside the mitochondria. And when this mitochondrial membrane will be permeable for these caspases, the apoptosis will occur. So this BCL2 family, it regulates the intrinsic pathway of apoptosis. Next question, name 3 genes responsible for the production of RH antigens. RH antigens. Now, do you know what are RH antigens? Okay. Which gives positive or negative characteristic to the blood groups. We all have either positive or negative blood group, and this positive negative blood group is due to the presence of these RH antigens, and these genes RHAG, RHD, RHCE, these are essential for the expression of RH antigens on RBCs, right? Next question, Frederick Sanger, who won 2 Nobel Prizes, one for a method to determine the sequence of proteins and another for a procedure to determine the sequence of, the correct answer is nucleic acids. So this scientist Sanger, he developed 2 methods, first to determine the sequence of proteins and another to determine the sequence of nucleic acids, and he won 2 Nobel Prizes. Important hai. Next question, what West describes epigenetics? Now epigenetics kya hai? The correct answer is C, study of heritable phenotype changes not involving changes in the DNA sequence. So epigenetics What is epigenetics? Actually, it involves on a genetic level, molecular level, it involves changes in DNA through process methylation, through methylation and histone modification. And histone modification. And what these two factors regulate? They regulates transcription and further translation. And further translation. And our phenotypes. What are phenotypes? Means our external appearance. Our external appearance or phenotype is the product of translation. Is the product of translations. Our hairs are gray. Our hairs are gray or black. है ना? Hairs could be gray or black. These are due to translation, and translation is under the control of epigenetic mechanism, right? Next question, Chargaff's rule state that. The answer is this: in DNA the percentage of adenine is equal to the percentage of thymine, and percentage of cytosine is equal to guanine, right? And this Chargaff rule, it applies to double-stranded DNA where base pairing occurs, right? What does this mean? Pyrimidine is equal to pyrosine, right? Next question. Forensic techniques once relied on analysis of restriction fragment length polymorphism. In short, we call them RFLP. But more recently has come to depend on. The answer is analysis of short tandem repeats. Short tandem repeats. Whether it is RFLP, STR, they are part of biotechnology and they constitute a very important content for the MCQs, right? So carefully read these statements. What is STR and what is RFLP? They are used in forensics. कहाँ use होती हैं ये? Forensics for what? DNA fingerprinting. For DNA fingerprinting. And in actual, what are these? These are the repeats or repetition of genes or nucleotides, right? Next question, where is pineal gland located? Where is pineal gland located? Adam's apple? No. Hanging down from hypothalamus? Could be. Between right and left hemisphere of the brain? No. In the frontal lobe of brain. So the correct answer is between the right and left hemisphere of the brain. It is deep in the brain. It is deep inside the brain between these two hemispheres, right? Next question. Adenohypophysis in human consists of two portions which are pars intermedia and pars distalis. Pars intermedia and pars distalis, these are another name for intermediate and posterior pituitary gland, right? So adenohypophysis, it consists of anterior and posterior pituitary glands. Next question, which of the following amino acid is the precursor of thyroid hormone T3 and T4? The answer is tyrosine. This tyrosine, what is this? This is amino acid. These are amino acid. It means that thyroid hormones, they are thyroid hormones, kaise hain? They are proteinous in nature. They are proteinous in nature because they are synthesized from amino acid tyrosine, and this is important question. Next question, which is a degenerative brain disorder caused by the lack of thiamine? Lack of thiamine or vitamin B1. The answer is A, Wernicke's syndrome. Wernicke's syndrome, right? It is caused by thiamine B1 deficiency, and it is often seen in people who are alcoholic. Next question, the cholera toxin produced by Vibrio cholera exerts its effect on. The answer is modifying G protein. Important है. This cholera toxin, what does this do? This cholera toxin, it activates G protein for the production of CAM or second messenger, which leads to water loss, right? Next question, the concentration of calcium in a resting cell is, the answer is 10 raised to power minus 7 molar. Resting intercellular calcium concentration is extremely low. Calcium levels in resting membrane is always low. Next question, the term alpha diversity describes, the correct answer is species diversity in a single community. In a single community, alpha, right? And if it is between community, it would be beta. And if it is in large region, then it will be gamma, right? It's also very important question seen in various examinations. Next question, evolutionary process occurring in a species where accumulation of gradual changes becomes distinct to form a different species is called anagenesis. So anagenesis is a gradual evolutionary change, and it occurs within a lineage, within a lineage, right? Next question, calmodulin has low affinity for, the answer is magnesium ions. Calmodulin has low affinity for magnesium, but it has high affinity. For calcium ions. Important question. Next, which messenger molecules are derived from the fatty acid arachidonic acid? The answer is eicosanoids. The answer is eicosanoid, which includes your prostaglandins hormones, prostaglandin like progesterone, estrogens, and leukotrienes hormone. Leukotrienes. These are derived from the fatty acid arachidonic acid. Next question, cell junction is abundant in, the answer is epithelial cells. The answer is epithelial cells. Cell junctions, like there are tight junction, there are desmosomes, there are gap junctions, and they are abundant in epithelial cell. Next question, if bicoid mRNA is injected into the posterior pole of wild type Drosophila embryo, the expected phenotype is, the answer is head structure at both posterior and anterior poles. Go through book Gilbert of Deb Bio. There you will find a well explained experiment of this Drosophila embryo. If in the Drosophila embryo we inject this bicoid mRNA in the posterior pole, say this is larva, this is anterior end wearing head, and this is posterior end wearing tail, normal larva, normal. Okay. If we inject bicoid mRNA at this position, there will be head and head at both anterior and posterior end. Okay. Next question, leukocyte extravasation occurs in the following order. The answer is capture, rolling, activation, adhesion, and transmigration. Okay, so this is the correct order for leukocyte extravasation. Next question, which is the main building block of cilia? Building block of cilia in prokaryotes. The answer is actin. The answer is actin. So in prokaryotic cilia-like structure, there is actin-like proteins. And not tubulin. In others, in eukaryotes, in cilia, if cilia is there is tubulin protein, right? Which of the following is a key second messenger is generated by the G protein coupled receptor present in human eye? Important question. The answer is CGMP. The answer is CGMP. It is the second messenger in phototransaction in retina. in retina. These all are what these all are, they are second messenger. They all are second messenger, and different organs require different second messengers for the transduction of messages, right? Next question, which is the serological test is performed for typhoid fever and strep throat? The answer is agglutination. 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 We have heard about Vidal test, है ना? We have heard of Vidal test, and these Vidal tests, they involve this process agglutination, right? Next, during submergence in aquatic turtles, the accessory respiratory organs are. The answer is cloacal bladder. Some aquatic turtle use their cloacal respiration during submergence. Mean when they float in water, when they are submerged in water, they use cloaca for respiration, right? Next question, Entamoeba histolytica is a human parasite found in. The correct answer is large intestine. It inhabits large intestine of humans and infect the colon. And what does this cause? Amoebic dysentery. Very important question. Amoebic dysentery. Next question, in blister beetles family Melody, the courtship begins with a series of antennal taps by the male on each side of the female's body. Is which type of communication? The answer is tactile communication. What is tactile communication? There is requirement of touch to stimulate the female, right? Next question. Queen honeybees produced a pheromone that modulates many aspects of worker honeybee and is critical for colony social organization. Is secreted by which gland? Very important and interesting question. The queen honeybee, they produce some pheromone or hormones that regulate worker honeybees. And this pheromone is secreted by the mandibular glands, right? So queen mandibular glands, they regulate social behavior in bees. How interesting, huh? Next question, ingression is the answer is migration of individual cell from the surface layer into the interior of the embryo. So this is the cell. The outer, here lies your epithelial cells. Here lies your epithelial cells, and during gastrulation, this cell drop one by one in the blastocele and it forms a hollow wall, right? Next, novoviocin is an aminocoumarin antibiotic used in the regulated expression of transgenes in mammal. Is produced by which of the following actinomycete? The answer is Streptomyces gracious, right? In biotechnology book, you will find various kind of antibiotics from what source they are derived. Next question, a genetic disorder of the immune system in which the body is unable to produce functional B cells and T cell to resist infection is, the answer is Swiss type agammaglobulinemia. Right? This is a severe combined immunodeficiency where both B and T cells are lacking, right? Next question, which of the signaling molecule released from the notochord that plays an important role in promoting somite pattern in the developing embryo and regulates bone morphogenic protein BMP4 during development? The answer is codeine. So this codeine, it is secreted by the notochord. And it promotes somites development. promotes somites development, and these somites, they are responsible for mesodermal growth, right? Next question, the T wave on ECG represent, the answer is repolarization of ventricular myocardium, right? Next question, the Nobel Prize in Medicine 2021 was awarded for the discovery of, the answer is receptors for temperature and touch, right? They were called TRP and piezoreceptors, and piezoreceptor. This post name was given by to these receptor by the Nobel laureates. Next, mesangial cell relaxation can be mediated by enhanced CAMP or CGMP generation caused by, the answer is dopamine. This neurotransmitter dopamine, it promote mesangial relaxation via CAMP or CGMP generation. Next, loss of function mutation in SLC5A1 gene prevent, the answer is glucose and galactose from being absorbed in the intestine. Important. So this gene, if it is transcribed or translated, it will prevent the absorption of glucose and galactose from the intestine. Next question, Trypanosoma brucei evade the immune response of the host. The correct answer is by generating variant surface antigens. So the correct answer is A, right? Next question, ryanodine receptors RYRSR, sorry, so sorry, are intracellular calcium release channels in skeletal and cardiac muscle. So these receptors, they are present in skeletal and cardiac muscles, and they are responsible for the transportation of these calcium ions. Next, alpine musk deer is state animal of which state? The answer is Uttarakhand, right? The answer is Uttarakhand. Next question, binding of which of the following to the promoter site is required for transcription of the lac operon? For the transcription of lac operon, the answer is this complex, CAP and CAMP complex. When it binds to the promoter, lac operon, when it binds to the promoter region, it enhances the transcription in low glucose level, right? Next question, which of the following cleaves the hairpin to form pre-miRNA? The answer is B, DROSA. It processes pre-miRNA into the pre-mRNA in the nucleus. Next question, in the herbivores, the molars have greater crushing action due to, the correct answer is hypocene evolve in the upper molar and loss of praeconoid with elevation of talnoid to the height of the rest of the trignoid in the lower molar. So just remember, the hypocene evolves in the upper molar, right? Next question, which of the following is not the function of maturation promoting factor MPF involved in the cell cycle? MPF, and there could be a question that MPF is a component for cell cycle. The correct answer here is inactivation of separase. Right? Next, hindgut fermentation is a feature of. The answer is herbivores with simple single chambered stomach, right? Next question, pulmonary surfactant is composed mainly of. The answer is B, dipalmitiol phosphatidylcholine. It is the main phospholipid in pulmonary surfactant. Pulmonary surfactant. And what is the role of this pulmonary surfactant? They provide a smoothness to the lungs to provide any collapse, right? Next, chiggers or sugars serve as vector for the disease of the answer is scrub typhus. These, what are these? These are larval mites. ठीक है? They transmit scrub typhus, and scrub typhus is caused by which protozoan? Orientia. Orientia shushu gamushi. Shushu gumashi. This is responsible for the cause of scrub typhus, and it is the vector involved is Shigas, the larval mites, right? Next question. Roman sign, also known as the periorbital swelling syndrome, is due to the infection of, the answer is Trypanosoma cruzi. And what Trypanosoma cruzi transmits? It causes Chagas diseases, right? Next question, which of the following is not an amine hormone? The answer is oxytocin. It is not amine, not proteinous, it is peptide hormone. Next question, the telomeric DNA has known coding sequence are usually rich in which nucleotide? The answer is guanine. These telomeric DNA, they are rich in guanine, and the telomeric repeats, these are generally these TTAGGGG, right? We know, no? What do you know? What are telomeres? These are the chromosomes. So these extreme end, they are known as telomere, and they are rich in guanine, rich coding sequences. Next question, which of the following is a physiological uncoupler oxidative phosphorylation? The answer is thermogenin. It is also known as UCP1, and it encompasses oxidative phosphorylation in brown fat, right? Next question, regeneration of salamander limbs. The correct answer here is D, PQRS, all the features of limb generation in salamander. Next question, the cranial capacity of which of the following prehistoric humans was within the range of the values for modern humans? The answer is Cro-Magnon man. Their cranial capacity overlap with modern human, right? Their cranial capacity is equivalent, overlapping with modern humans. Next question, what best represent the ecotone zone between marine and terrestrial ecosystem? The correct answer is mangrove forest. The mangroves, they form a transition ecotone between land and sea. This is important term. Next question. In which autoimmune disease the affected individuals may produce autoantibodies to a vast array of tissue antigens such as DNA, histones, RBCs, platelets, leukocytes, and clotting factor? The answer is systemic lupus erythematosus. Next question, which of the following is a major reason of hemophilia A? The answer is X-linked recessive disorder. Next, Philadelphia chromosome is, the correct answer here is defective chromosome number 22 because of reciprocal translocation between chromosome 9 and chromosome 22. It means, what is reciprocal translocation? Say this is chromosome 9 and this is chromosome number 22. A segment from chromosome 22 and a segment from chromosome 9, they will be cut off and it will be inserted here, and this segment will be inserted here. This is reciprocal translocation, right? Next question, in India, which of the following endemic species of earthworm is extensively used for vermiculture? The correct answer is B, Paryonyx excavates. So it is indigenous, it is Indian endemic worm, and it is widely used in vermiculture. Next, pearl mother layer is nacre. So this nacre is responsible for the pearl formation, and it is the inner layer of shells, right? Next question. Immunoglobulin deficiency can be detected by. The answer is serum protein electrophoresis. It is used to detect level of immunoglobulins or antibodies. Next, for adjuvants to be effective, they need to do all the following except. The answer is induced granuloma formation, right? Next, molecules directly involved in NK. NK stand for natural killer. Natural killer cell mediated killing include. The correct answer is granzyme A and B. What are these? These are the cytotoxic. These are the cytotoxic proteins used by these NK cells to induce apoptosis, and they induce apoptosis. And what is apoptosis? The other name is cell death or killing of the cell, right? Which of the following lake zone has phytoplankton in abundance? The correct answer is limnatic zone. This limnatic zone, this is open water zone. Open water zone, right? Next question. Scretin stimulates. The answer is pancreatic bicarbonate and enzymes secretion. Next question. What is the result for bilateral destruction of amygdala? The answer is voracious appetite. The voracious appetite. Destruction of amygdala, which is in the brain, it may affect our hunger or satiety factor or emotional response, right? Next question. When two or more non-allelic gene pairs affect the same character in the same way, this is called. The answer is polygenic inheritance. What is polygenic inheritance? It means there are multiple genes. What they influence a single trait. For example, height, skin color, they are example of polygenic inheritance. There are multiple genes and they regulate a single trait like height, like color of the skin. Next, missile granules and amyloid bodies are rich in. The answer is endoplasmic reticulum. And they are involved in what? They are involved in translation. And what is translation? Protein synthesis, right? Next question. Tutara belongs to the order. The correct answer is Rahenkosyphilia. Rahenkosyphilia, जो कि क्या है? Reptiles. Okay, what is Rahenkosyphilia tutara? They are reptiles. Next, armadillos have been important to the development of vaccine for. The answer is leprosy. These armadillos, they are natural host of Mycobacterium leprae, and they are used in research, right? Next question. Hansen node is formed of cell or presumptive. The answer is notochord. So these presumptive notochordal cells, they form Hansen node, right? Retinoic acid receptor alpha RARA gene is normally located on. The answer is chromosome number 17. Next, how many genes does zebrafish share with humans? Zebrafish share with human. Why this model here? Because it is a very widely used in research, right? So approximately 70% of the genes. Next question. Which of the following pair will produce complementary sticky ends? The answer is this, MbO1 and SAU3A. Next question. Range of osmolarity tolerated accepted in MOSM per kg of water by mammalian cell. The correct answer is 280 360. This is the osmolarity range tolerated by most mammalian cells. ठीक है, मतलब mammals इस range को tolerate कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. Next and last question. Sensory cephalic tentacles in dentalium is. The answer is capticula. Yeah, captacula. These are tentacle-like structure in dentalium used to capture food. And what is this dentalium? It is mollusk. ठीक है, coil body होती है ना, जैसे shells होती हैं, like shells. Okay. So this was the last question, and hereby we end this discussion. Thank you so much for your patience.